This story takes place in two different locations. The first is the kids' home and the other is Blue. Blue is a place up in the clouds that the kids get to go to when they fall asleep. There is only one way that the kids can get to Blue, and that is for the four of them to fall asleep and dream of Blue. Once they are all asleep and dreaming of Blue, the children float up to Blue. At this very moment, the kids are in the living room about to head into their rooms.
You guys better go straight to sleep. I'm ready for an adventure since we have not been able to visit Blue in over a week because Joanna keeps having bad dreams.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to have bad dreams. They just happen.
You'll be okay. You can sleep on my bed if that will make you feel better.
Yes, that will for sure help me not have bad dreams.
I think it's time we head to bed. I am getting really sleepy and don't want to fall asleep right here because then we for sure won't be going to Blue tonight.
The kids make their way to their room. Alex and Junior sleep in the same room. Joanna and Esmeralda sleep in the same room. And that night, Joanna sleeps on the same bed as Esmeralda. The children then fall asleep and begin to dream about Blue and all the fun that they will have. Blue is a beautiful place that the kids made up. And when they get to Blue, they transform into their favorite animal. Alex turns into a lion. Junior turns into a panda. Esmeralda into a dog. And Joanna into a cat. It is located in the clouds, and all of the clouds are different pastel colors. But there is a room that all four kids like to go in, and that is the fun room. This room is empty, but it is a colorful room. As soon as all four kids come up with what they want to do in that room, it transforms to whatever they want it to. But they have to agree on an adventure, or else the room will not transform. The kids make it into Blue and walk to the fun room.
There seems to be something off about the room today. It's dark.
Junior speeds up to see what Alex is talking about.
That's odd. It's always full of light.
Let's go see if we can still go on an adventure. Maybe it's because we haven't been there in a while.
Every other time when the kids walk into the fun room, the kids take their place. Since the room has 4 spots for each of them, as they each go to their spot, they talk about what they want to do that day. For some reason, that day, they could not agree on what they wanted to do.
I want to climb trees and jump from tree to tree.
I want to play with real life dinosaurs.
I want to swim in a giant pool where you cannot drown and you can do as many tricks in the pool as you want.
I want my dollhouse to be the size of your real house so that we can all pretend we live there.
That is when the problem started. The room could feel the tension, and since that never happens, it started to become confused. The kids did not know what was happening, and something that never happened happened.
Yay, I get to play in my giant dollhouse.
The room lets all 4 kids play in their own little world that they come up with. The room is divided into 4 different worlds, and the kids become nervous and do not know what to do. They can see each other, but they cannot communicate. The room has only ever turned into one activity. The kids stared at each other, and the younger kids were scared and wanted to cry.
I don't like this. I thought you guys were all with me.
I can see that you are talking, Joanna, but I can't hear anything you are saying.
After what seems like forever, the room goes back to being dark, and the kids are able to talk to each other.
This is your fault, Alex. You always want us to do what you want to do.
What are you talking about? We always do what they want to do.
I think we should just go back home. Something doesn't feel right.
I want my mommy.
To get back home, the kids have to walk to the slide room, which is made up of a slide that has its opening on the ground, and it takes them each to their own bed.
Fine, let's go back home.
As they start to walk to the room that will take them back home, they notice that the walls are black. They all start to become even more nervous than they already were. They start to walk faster towards the room, and once they get there, they see that the slide opening is closed off. There is a keyhole and a note that says,
Blue is made up of happiness, and 2 of you came up here on bad terms.
as they all start to argue and blame each other and demand they know who is at fault, the rest of the rooms become black.
What is going on?
I really want to go home. I don't like this.
The kids begin to panic and argue some more.
We need to stop arguing and find a way back home.
There's no way that we can be stuck here forever.
There has to be a solution.
I really want my mommy.
They walk out of the room they were in and notice that there is a room full of light. They all make their way over there and see that there is a bright, colorful room with a lime green key at the end of the room. The room is small, and when they try to step in, they realize that they cannot walk in. Junior, Alex, and Joanna start to argue and panic again. While they argue, Esmeralda starts to think about how there is a reason as to why this is happening. After all, this is a world run by their imagination. Esmeralda looks at Alex and Junior.
Was it you two that were arguing and caused this mess?
I told Alex that I wanted to play with dinosaurs, and Alex turned me down by saying that it sounded boring.
This is when it clicks for Esmeralda that Alex and Javier needed to make up because Blue can sense something is off about them. Alex at that point was annoyed with Javier because he brought up the fight that they had before falling asleep. He starts to walk away, and Esmeralda for some reason thinks of a wall to block him, and that is what happens. She had no idea she could do that. They all turn and look at each other so confused about how that wall got there.
It was me. We need to make up in order for us to get back home.
You're alright.
Right at that moment, dinosaurs come out of the fun room and start running towards them. Before this, all their adventures had been fun and safe, but something about the look on the dinosaur's face told them it was not that kind of day. Alex, Junior, and Esmeralda and Joanna begin to run.
Alex, Junior, you didn't make this right. We need to run back to the room with the key.
I'm sorry, Junior. I should have never told you that. I should have never told you what you wanted to do was boring.
I'm sorry too.
Once they get near the room with the key, they notice that the dinosaurs are getting too close.
The three of you need to run to the slide room. I will go get the key and I will meet you guys in the slide room.
That is exactly what they do next. Esmeralda is able to get into the room and grab the lime green key. She starts to make her way towards the slide room, but as she is running, she hears something running behind her, and that is a dinosaur. The dinosaur tries to grab the key from her hand. Meanwhile, Alex, Junior, and Joanna are in the room with the slide and discover that when they get inside, the dinosaurs cannot get in. As Esmeralda gets near, she realizes the same. The dinosaurs that were chasing her siblings are standing in the entrance, and she convinces herself that the only way to get inside the slide room is to slide underneath the dinosaurs blocking the entrance. The only good thing about that moment is that the dinosaurs were not focusing on her and looking inside the room where Joanna and Alex and Junior are in. As the dinosaurs behind her starts to close in on her, Esmeralda slides in head first into the slide room and makes it.
You made it.
Esmeralda puts the key in the keyhole, and the next thing they remember, it's morning and they are waking up on their beds. They make their way into the kitchen and sit down to have breakfast. Once they are sitting down, they look at each other and start to laugh.
We need to promise never to fight before we are going to the blue room.
Promise.